Welcome to the Wellness Made Easy podcast, where we explore the path to a healthier you. Hi, I'm Larry Logsdon, and today we're discussing a topic that affects millions of women: uterine fibroids. These benign tumors can cause various health issues, but what if there was a natural way to manage them? Today, I'll be joined with Dr. Bob Martin, host of the largest weekend syndicated health talk show in America, over 500 radio stations nationwide. And we'll be talking today to uncover the power of natural healing for uterine fibroids and share the practical tips for your well-being. Tune in, we'll have a great time.
And I welcome you back to this hour of the Dr. Bob Martin Show, and thank you so very much for tuning into the program today. All right, we're going to talk about something that needs to be discussed that I have had the opportunity to treat over the years many women who have had troubles with uterine fibroids and cysts on their ovaries and other problems looking at those kinds of benign conditions. And so often is the case, women are trying to figure out, how can I solve these problems without undergoing some type of radical medical procedure like surgery, or have to take life-changing toxic chemicals in the form of hormone replacement. And I have to admit that some women, because their uterine fibroids, by the time they actually deal with them, are so bad that they may need medical intervention. But the goal here is to help women understand that there may be things that they can do safely and naturally to help avoid the pitfalls and the risks associated with invasive surgeries when it relates to female problems like uterine fibroids. And you think, okay, so how prevalent is it? It's very prevalent. Uterine fibroids happen in women about 75 to 80% of the time somewhere during their lives. 75 to 80% of women will have these fibroids, these benign cysts or tumors growing inside of their uterus. And the size of these things can range from a few millimeters to the size of a pea to the size of a grapefruit. They can get huge, and they may require, some of the more severe ones, gynecologic surgery. But our goal here today is to tell you that there may be an option for you to consider. Every year, 200,000 women have hysterectomies over this condition. 200,000. And once that happens, you lose a part of your body, ladies, that you should be having for the rest of your life. That's the way it was designed. So what are these fibroids? Well, they're non-cancerous tumors found within the uterine walls, often resulting in a change in the size and the shape of the uterus, as well as several unpleasant symptoms. We're talking about women dealing with pain, problems with their menstruation, bleeding, bloating, and sometimes they're even symptomless. You don't even know they're going on, and yet they are, and the abdomen starts to puff out or pooch out. You don't know why that's happening. So we've recruited a person to discuss this who has some very interesting things to say about a way to manage this. Not necessarily cure. We're not claiming cure here. We're talking about giving the body raw materials that it can utilize to help right the imbalance that generated these cysts or these fibroids in the very first place. And he also has a very interesting story about a woman who's claiming, we don't know if it's accurate, but she claims that she had a brain-related cyst, and that also helped it as well. We'll play those for you coming up. His name is Larry Logsdon, and he is a functional food researcher and chemist specializing in the medicinal and health-giving properties of exotic fruits, and specifically Noni fruit. You should know about this. Noni, N-O-N-I, Noni fruit. Larry founded Tahiti Trader Noni in 1998, and Tahiti Trader manufactures and distributes Noni juices throughout the United States and internationally. And with that, let us welcome to the program Larry Logsdon. Good day to you, Larry.
Good morning, Dr. Bob. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. Thank you for agreeing to join me here on the show to talk about this very touchy subject. And it is a problem with so many women. I've treated hundreds of cases of uterine fibroids, Larry, over my practice career. And I'll tell you what, it's not easy, but once you help to rebalance a woman's body chemistry and get her lifestyle squared away, her diet, they can get better, provided that they're not past that point in which they need some type of invasive medical procedure, which some of them need. So let's talk about this condition and what are fibroids? Where do they come from and what are they about?
Well, fibroids are a growth that occurs in the uterine lining usually, and it comes from having too much estrogen in the system, generally speaking. And of course, most women will say, "Well, how'd I do that? I eat well and I do all the right things." Well, let me ask you: Are you eating soy? I have soy milk all the time. Well, there's one source of it. And how about plastic wrappers and plastic bottles? Well, I got them all over the place. That's where these come from, and this is where these usually are derived from.
Mm-hmm. And the cosmetics they're putting on their face that have also estrogenic agents in it, and the various things they're coming in contact with in the environment. I also want to make sure that the audience understands we're talking about processed soy products here, not products that you would have otherwise, like edamame, fine, raw edamame that you get at a sushi restaurant, or you have tofu, no problem, fermented soy, or you have miso soup, no problem, or other forms. We're talking about when man fiddles with it, processes it, and now changes it. That's the kind of soy we're discussing here that women should be careful about to eliminate in order to not trigger a continuation of some type of a hormone imbalance based on that information. All right, so what are some of the symptoms, quickly, Larry, here that women can experience if they have these uterine cysts or uterine fibroids, benign?
Well, usually gals will talk about having pain, irregular bleeding, bloating is a big one. Why is my tummy so poofed out this time of the year? Well, this is all part of the body being out of balance. This is the biggest issue we have here. The body having huge difficulty in adapting to this onslaught of high levels of estrogen. And so it's doing what it normally does. And that's what's going on. And most gals will tell you that, oh my God, things just aren't right. What do I do? And this is the number one question. They come into doctors and ask, "Doctor, why don't I feel right?"
And the response, of course, is sometimes they ask, well, is there anything, doctor, that I can do besides having my uterus taken out, having a hysterectomy, or being on these potent hormone blocking drugs? And I think a lot of them, Larry, basically are told, no, there's no other options that you have. The only option that you have is to have your uterus removed, provided that we try the hormone blocking therapy, estrogen blocking therapy. If that doesn't get it and you continue to bleed, because obviously bleeding will cause anemia over time and can be dangerous, then those are your only two options. And I think they're basically dissuaded from looking into any other possibility that there exists treatment and or lifestyle that may be able to manage this problem.
It's so true. The doctors seem as though they never really want to know what the cause may be. Forget about the cause. Let me take care of your problem. Your symptoms over here. Let me give you a pill for that, or I'm just some surgery if that doesn't work. And that just isn't really acceptable, because there's usually a cause for almost any malady going on in the body. What is the cause? Well, if you were to find out, he probably wouldn't be able to sell you much drugs.
Okay. Our special guest is Larry Logsdon. He is a functional food researcher and chemist specializing in the medicinal and health-giving properties of exotic fruits. We're talking about Noni this hour. We're going to get into this. And also, Larry, you have shared with me a couple of anecdotes of customers who have used Noni and have helped to resolve uterine fibroids, and also a very interesting one about a lady who had brain cancer who claims to have also benefited in the area of using Noni. We're going to get to that briefly here and after this break coming up. And I also want to let you know we have a new telephone number. If you want to call into the program and leave a health question on our recording or a health comment, you may do so. That number is 800-606-8652. 8822. 800-606-8822. And the good news there, you can leave your message, health question, or health comments 24/7, 365. In other words, any day of the week, any hour of the day. 800-606-8822 to call into the Dr. Bob Martin Show to ask a question or leave a health comment. We'll be back with our special guest, Larry Logsdon, after this. You're listening to the Dr. Bob Martin Show. All right, our special guest is Larry Logsdon, and he's here with us talking about these exotic fruits that he has helped to teach people about for years and years, and some remarkable stories he has from customers, particularly the one that I want to zero in on here is a customer of his called Sheila. Her name is Sheila, and she has had some experience with uterine fibroids. She stumbled into a health food store and got some advice from somebody to take Tahiti Trader Noni juice, and I'll just let you hear what she has to say about her results from taking Tahiti Trader Noni juice for her uterine fibroid issues.
I was having some problems. I was using soy, and I didn't know it was causing fibroids to grow in my womb. They grew very big, very, very big. They were pressing on my colon. It was just, I was in agony all the time. And then I started having real bad hot flashes that just my body just got all out of whack. And I went straight to the doctor, and they checked me out. And they told me that, yes, I had tumors, a lot of tumors. And they said, well, we can, you can just get a hysterectomy. And I was like, I'm too young for that. So the young lady in the store, and she said, could she help me? So I said that I'm having fibroid tumors. That's when the young lady introduced me to Noni. And she says, well, if I were you, I would get the Tahiti Trader. And I said, oh, why? And she said, I think it's the best one we have. And then she began to give me some testimonials from some customers. They had different things like cancer and different things in their bodies. And the Noni was really helping. She actually told me about a woman and a man. They both had cancer. And she says, well, it's a guy that we have coming here. And she said he buys Noni every 2 days. She said he takes 8 ounces a day. Like that. Yeah, he was taking it for a therapeutic because he had cancer. And they gave him, he had stage 4. She says he went back to the doctor, and they said that the cancer is in complete remission. And he is so happy. And he says, this is something that I'm going to continue to use. So she just lifted my spirits when she told me that. And then she told me about the lady with the breast cancer. Same thing for her. They're taking like 4 to 8 ounces of it a day. And I said, oh, if they could get that outcome with these tumors, I just stayed on the Noni consistently. But I noticed too, my stomach was getting softer. My abdomen was getting softer. And it started to go down. My body was purging those tumors. And I knew they started to literally dissolve. Just kept dissolving. It was a process. I kept using the Noni. They kept dissolving. And everything started clearing up. My body started digesting. My health started getting better. I started feeling good. I had a really good experience with the Noni. And that's why I still use it today.
Okay, you heard from Sheila, who is a parent, obviously an excited customer of Tahiti Trader Noni. Now, we're here to not imply that there is a cure for cancer by drinking Tahiti Trader Noni juice or anything such thing. When you have health-related problems, whether it be uterine fibroids or cancer, you should always be under the care of a health professional. But in her case, and the case of many others, when you find the right food, which is your medicine. I mean, that's what the father of medicine said very famously, let your food be your medicine, whenever possible. Sometimes, unfortunately, these things get so out of control, and people wait so long before they find the truth or find things like Tahiti Trader Noni juice that they are so far behind the curve they may need a type of intervention. We hope not, Larry. That was an amazing testimonial there, and I appreciate you sending that over to me so I could listen to it.
Oh, you're welcome. It's an amazing thing. That's just one of many calls we get every day from all kinds of our users. And the reality is very simple. The body is out of balance, and that's why it has dis-ease. And Noni is an adaptogen and brings ease back into the way the body functions. It's pretty simple. And in this particular case, Noni has anti-metastatic properties about it, which make it difficult for tumors to adhere to cell walls where they get their nutrition. And they just simply fall off and die.
But it sounds like also it may help to balance hormones as well by flushing them out and rebalancing there, because that's a huge issue. All right.
It is.
Just for people to know, you can find Tahiti Trader Noni Juice at GNC stores nationwide, Vitamin Shop, Whole Foods, Sprouts, or you can go to TahitiTrader.com, TahitiTrader.com. And for more information, you may call 800-842-5309. We're coming back with our special guest, Larry Logsdon. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Dr. Bob Martin Show. All right, welcome back to the Dr. Bob Martin Show. If you're just tuning into the program, we're talking about a problem that most females will have sometime in their lifetime. About 75 to 80% of women will experience or have or grapple with uterine fibroids, which can be serious. And it can be life-changing, and so many women get caught off guard with this. They end up in a doctor's office, and they have two options, basically, drug therapy or hysterectomy, loss of an organ of their body which was designed to be there for an entire lifetime. But I want to point out here also that when women have hysterectomies, and 200,000 of them do each year for various reasons, and it includes uterine fibroids, what doctors often forget to tell their female patients before contemplating hysterectomies is that the uterus is an orgasmic organ, which basically means, without going into detail, after having a hysterectomy, if you had a vigorous and excellent sex life, that may circle the drain after having a hysterectomy. We don't want that for sure. So there's so many compelling reasons behind saving every organ of our body if we can. And with emergencies, of course, you have to take it out. And there are some reasons why uterine fibroid and hysterectomies happen. But we are here trying to help women understand that there may be options if we can get to those imbalances that generate these fibroid tumors or cysts early and often. And in the last segment, we played an amazing testimonial of Sheila, who had uterine fibroids, grappled with it, went to many doctors, and couldn't get satisfaction. She didn't want to lose her uterus, and she ended up finding out about Tahiti Trader Noni Juice. She started drinking it, and her abdomen started to go down, and her uterine fibroids shrank away, which is an amazing story. It's anecdotal, but nonetheless, that's coming from a person with the problem. Now, Larry, you sent me also another fascinating testimonial of a customer of yours, which I found interesting, by the name of Dana, who had even a more serious problem with her brain. Can you set that up before we play that to our audience here today?
Yes, Dr. Bob. Dana is calling in to tell us an update about her mother, who has brain cancer, and apparently stage 4. And she's gone in there. The doc says, look, get yourself ready to go bye-bye, because there isn't any, cures for this, good luck to you and all that. And so she goes, what the heck am I going to do? Started doing the research. And she found there's possibilities by trying the Noni juice. So she calls up, and our Shannon, she does a pretty good job of giving her some direction of what to do. And she gets the juice, and she started in late January. And between late January, her use of 4 ounces a day with her mother, through April, when she went back to the doctor to have the new MRIs done, the tumor shrank 41%.
Wow. Okay. Without any further ado, and I want to precede that by saying, in no means, ladies and gentlemen, we're trying to claim that Noni Juice is a cancer cure whatsoever, but this is the words from a person who is grappling with a tumor in her brain. Listen to what Dana has to say about her use of Tahiti Trader Noni Juice. Go.
We called and we ordered like a case of the Noni Juice. Yeah. And so I'm giving you an update. Oh, good. Now she has got a grade 4 brain tumor. That's the worst. Okay.
Wow.
It measured the 1.9 by 1.3. And then we went back in April. It had went down to 1.6 by 0.9.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
A grade 4 brain tumor. Yeah.
Wow. So does that downgrade it?
All I know is that, the Noni juice is working. We do 4 ounces of Noni juice, and I split it, and she does 2 in the morning and 2 at night.
Well, hey, keep at it.
I know. That's what the doctor said. Can you believe it? Noni juice is diminishing the tumor.
Wow.
And that is a remarkable story. I think, Larry, the key, the takeaway here for our listeners today is that, gosh, if you've got something that in nature, once again, providing so many of the cures that we found, so many pharmaceutical drugs are based on herbs and plants that we discover the ingredients in there, and then they're synthesized so that they can roll them out. What if you worked in combination with a doctor for serious health problems like that, and at the same time, concurrently, you took Noni juice in? I mean, how bad would that be to do that in not necessarily in place of, but concurrent with, to get better results? And I think that would be the message here. Would you not agree, Larry?
I agree. In fact, scientists are telling us that you'll get improved survival time and curative effects when you combine Noni juice with chemotherapeutic agents.
Yeah, and I think that's the key. And by the way, just for our audience, for more serious problems and anybody looking for alternative cancer clinics, do email me on that one. I am very well aware of some excellent ones. And you can go through my website at drbob.com, spelling out the word doctor for that, drbob.com, if you're looking for something along those lines. Tahiti Trader Noni Juice can be found in health food stores nationwide like GNC, Vitamin Shop, Whole Foods, Sprouts, and, of course, their website. Check it out, tahititrader.com for Noni Juice. Or you can call them up for more information, 800-842-5309. Stay with us. We're coming right back. You're tuned into the Dr. Bob Martin Show. I welcome you back to the Dr. Bob Martin Show, our final segment this hour. But don't go anywhere, because next hour I'm going to be talking about COVID. COVID shot maker Pfizer settles 10,000 lawsuits for hiding cancer risks associated with a very common drug people take called Zantac for these people who are taking antacids and heartburn and acid indigestion. This drug was out there for so long, and so many people took it. Now they're thinking that it causes cancer. We'll talk about that next hour. You don't want to miss it. Our special guest this hour has been Larry Logsdon. Larry is a functional food researcher and chemist, talking about the health-giving properties of Noni juice, N-O-N-I. It's an exotic fruit. If you don't know about it, you should. It has many attributes. We've been focusing in on uterine fibroids and other cystic conditions that happen anywhere in the body. And for some reason, and I'm sure science is unraveling that mystery today, they're going to figure it out, why it is that it works so well to give people this very simple fruit juice that you can get at health food stores nationwide. Tahiti Trader Noni juice. What have you got to lose besides taking in fruit juice, and maybe some malady or infirmity that you're having just clears itself out? Now, obviously, we're talking about things like fibroid tumors in the uterus and the brain tumors and stuff like that. And you need to be under doctor's supervision, of course, always when you have serious conditions. But what if you could parlay something as simple as this, that is being studied by scientists today, and get better without having to undergo pharmaceutical drugs and or other invasive problems? All right, so Larry, are there any potential adverse side effects from taking Tahiti Trader Noni juice?
There are zero. None at all, Dr. Bob. Not a one.
And are there different types of Tahiti Trader Noni juice?
Yes, we have 2 formulas. We have the original island style noni juice, which is fermented to a vinegar. It has tremendous amount of fruit solids, and you'll find a lot of stuff in there. It's not the best tasting, but it's the most potent. And we have our original noni juice blended with blueberry and raspberry, and it is the way to start when you're starting off with noni juice, because you feel it working right away. You see, noni is the true adaptogen. It helps speed the healing process, and you're going to feel it right away.
Okay. Well, you don't know, Larry, but we were talking about superfoods and flavonoids prior to bringing you on the air. And, of course, we know that this particular fruit, noni, also has those strong flavonoids, and it's considered a super fruit.
Yep.
Folks, if you're looking to get a hold of Tahiti Trader Noni Juice, you may do so at the following coordinates: TahitiTrader.com, their website, TahitiTrader.com, or you can call the company for more information after this conversation at 800-842-5309. Look for it in your health food store. It's available nationwide. GNC, Vitamin Shop, Whole Foods, Sprouts. All right, Larry, thank you. We'll be right back. I'm Dr. Bob Martin.
Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to the Wellness Made Easy podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an update. And if you're looking for more health tips, visit us at TahitiTrader.com. Stay healthy, and I'll see you next time.